How to Be a Man and Other Illusions by Duff McKagan. Here it is in bookstores right now. It's a New York Times bestseller, which makes you a New York Times bestselling author. Duff McKagan, how are you?
How you doing, Rich?
Good to see you, man.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
It's kind of trippy to be here. I'm just a regular fan and to actually be on the show.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Likewise, right back at you.
Okay.
So now you live up in Seattle, right?
I do.
Okay, so you're just down here to promote the book, just hang out?
My life's a little confusing. I kind of live in both places, but Seattle's home, and I'm a Seahawks fan.
Okay. Die hard through and through.
Yeah.
And, you know, this book, I've thumbed through it a little bit. It's my first time I got to look at it. There's some interesting stories that are in here involving the Super Bowl that I want to hit you about when the radio audience returns.
Okay.
Because right now it's just a TV audience. I shouldn't say that.
Just a TV audience.
You know, I shouldn't say that because somebody sitting at home at TV is saying, what the hell? You know?
Yeah.
I'm consuming this show in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Duff McKagan is here in studio, and then we'll ask you about Deflategate.
Okay.
I'm sure you've got some thoughts on that subject.
Sort of.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll bring up the Super Bowl. The
good one?
The New York one.
Yeah,
and I might have to talk about the Arizona one with you, too.
I have a joke about the new one, and it's just, yeah, that's about it.
Okay, Duff McKagan is here in studio. Don't go anywhere. Back with more in a moment. El Segundo's never really been described as Paradise City, but right now it is exactly that, because I have the author of How to Be a Man and Other Illusions after his New York Times bestselling book, It's So Easy and Other Lies, was hitting bookshelves, but you go out and get How to Be a Man and Other Illusions, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer from Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver, Duff McKagan. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks, Rich.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good, yeah. It's funny, as we counted back from a commercial break, instead of actually counting us back from commercial break, Mike Del Tufo, our sound man, it was fanboying you. Do you want to continue the fanboying process?
Oh, yeah. I saw you guys twice, Stuff back. I saw the Giant Stadium one that video's from.
Yes.
Which was gigantic. And then at the Ritz.
What year was this?
Oh, God.
Giant Stadium that thing was, I think, end of '87.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you notice, that shot in the day, both those concerts, we were daytime band. So that means we were opening, still playing the day.
Yeah, it was great.
But the band broke it just after that video.
Yeah, you guys were like, and then it was unbelievable. The MTV concert was still one of my favorite. All the thousands I've gone in my lifetime, and I have. Yeah. Unbelievable.
This is great. Duff McKagan here on the Mike Del Tufo show. Sorry, Rich.
Thanks.
Are you done? Are you finished? Do I need a restraining order? What's happening?
You're good. You're good.
Daytime band. What do you, for those who might not understand, what do you mean daytime band?
Well, okay, so if you're playing outside at a stadium or a festival or something, if you see a band, the pictures are in the daytime, it's daylight. That means they're playing at 4 or 3. They're not a headliner.
Okay.
They're still playing in the day. It's not even.
You don't want to be a daytime band, is what you're saying.
You work to like play when there's lights and it's nighttime. Yeah, that means you're headlining or playing just before the headline.
When did you first become a nighttime band then? Do you remember the one time or the one song, the one album that
became a nighttime band?
Yeah,
that could be that's a title for another book.
Yeah, it became a nighttime. See,
right?
We like leaving people here in a better spot when we found them here on the Rich Show.
When did we become a nighttime band? I mean, that whole Appetite tour, we were still openers. Like, we ended that tour.
Who were you opening for at the time?
Aerosmith. We ended opening for Aerosmith.
What in the world was that like backstage?
Well, they had kind of kept us, we were partitioned off because we were kind of wild animals at that point. And they were just really pulling all their stuff together.
Okay.
And so I think that, we were both on the same record company, so Geffen was pretty fearful of the influence we would have on them, not the other way around. And, but these were our heroes, and we weren't going to do anything. We knew that everything they'd been through, we weren't going to do anything to mess that up.
Despite being wild animals at the time.
We were wild animals, but we knew, like, when it wasn't cool to be a wild animal.
back off.
Yeah, to back off.
Okay, and so then after that, you became your nighttime band, Guns N' Roses, as we've come to.
Yes, after Appetite, we became a headliner.
I'm here with Duff McKagan here on the Rich Eisen show. Go get his book, How to Be a Man and Other Illusions. You know, Aerosmith is essentially a Patriots band, if you think about it.
They are.
They're New England people.
I'm aware of that.
Okay, you are aware of that.
I am aware
What
of
do you make of the Deflategate, Duff? What do you make of the Tom Brady deflating footballs kerfuffle that's going on?
I mean, I don't, to be honest, as a Seahawks fan, I don't really care. It doesn't pertain to us at all, and football as a whole. I mean, there's a lot. Owners are they're billionaires, multi-billionaires, and I think everybody, refs included, and everything kind of, probably it's human to shrink under, somebody like Kraft. That
So
guy's
you're
all powerful.
So, I mean, the report said that Kraft had nothing to do with it, and the same thing with Belichick. If it just comes down to Tom Brady maybe circumventing the rules or telling people to circumvent the rules, would you have a problem with his legacy?
And I'm not insinuating it's Kraft.
Of course not.
Or his legacy. No, when he's on the field, he plays great football. He's a great quarterback. His legacy, I don't know what really happened. I listened to sports radio this morning driving in. I don't really care. I care about next season. That's in the past.
I love it. So what was it like? Let's start with the good Super Bowl, as you referred to it in the in the television commercial break that we had. Paige, hold on, I had it dog-eared here.
Okay, so I went to the 07 Super Bowl, right?
07
when we
Super Bowl.
played the Steelers.
Okay, yeah, in Detroit.
And that was in Detroit.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there.
So that was a bad Super Bowl too for you, I guess.
There was a lot of flags, and we had really great seats, and I was like, I didn't realize they paid the refs at halftime. Because they were
Wow, Duff.
Anyhow,
So where were your seats?
like 50-yard line.
Who
I went with Jerry.
You went with Jerry
My
Cantrell?
wife and Jerry, yeah.
Okay. Who was here on the show a few months ago from Alice in Chains.
Yeah,
the big Seattle guy.
Yeah.
And I see on page 202 of your book.
202.
Page 202 of your book, yeah. Just fresh off of the Seattle Seahawks making the Super Bowl to go to New York.
Yes.
This is what I'm reading. I'm reading right now, straight from How to Be a Man and Other Illusions by Duff McKagan.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's great? The Hawks win meant two things. One, I was going to be celebrating my 50th birthday in New York with my Seahawks in contention for the World Championship. Two, we really needed tickets.
Yeah.
And you celebrated your 50th at that game.
Well, it was the next day. So
Okay.
I'd like to think, it was 2 days later. So
Okay.
I like to think the Seahawks parade was also in commemoration with my 50th birthday.
Yeah.
At least I tell my,
And how's that work for you? That works out for you.
So Jerry and I, with that Super Bowl, we're not used to winning in Seattle. We had a Sonics NBA championship when I was 12. It was awesome, but I was 12. I'm 50 now. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
The Mariners have done this.
They have done that.
Over the years, and we're not used to winning. And the Seahawks have never been. That 07 Super Bowl was, our city wasn't ready to be the champion yet. And I don't think the NFL was ready for the Hawks to be NFL champion. And it just seemed right. When we flew into New York, everything seemed right. That season seemed right. And Jerry and I, and our friend Ed, just going and cresting the hill into the Giants Jets Stadium.
Right.
Whatever you call that place.
Yeah, MetLife now.
MetLife. Okay, so we crested the hill. And
Next door to where Mike Del Tufo saw you back in the day in Giant Stadium, which is now in the parking lot, right there.
Yo.
So you go over the hill and you see the stadium for the first time?
And we kind of knew, everything felt right about it. But saying that, all of that, even when we were up 38-0 in the third quarter, maybe even fourth quarter.
It was over.
Well, but as a
Essentially.
Seattle fan, you don't really buy it. Like, Peyton Manning can come back. It's gonna happen, and not until we had there was another guy sitting. He had his iPhone and whatever, and he was doing the math. And the minutes and the math. He said it's actually mathematically impossible for them to come back.
Based on
Time and
possessions, things of that nature.
He was smarter than me, and finally I relaxed, and it was not until halfway through the fourth quarter.
Duff McKagan is here in the Rich Eisen Show studio. Don't go anywhere. I would open the phone lines to people who want to specifically talk to you, but they're jammed with people who want to talk about heirs in football. And I don't know if you want to take. Do you want to take phone calls on Deflategate? We could do that, or we could just talk about your Seattle Seahawks.
Right. Well,
I know what you'd like.
I think Deflategate's probably a bigger deal right at this juncture than my
ju-
Seattle Seahawks.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll spitball here. We're back with Duff McKagan, How to Be a Man and Other Illusions, at Duff McKagan on Twitter, right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.